Along the way on my fitness journey, I got into intermittent fasting. Well, after doing years of bodybuilding and weight loss, I'm here to give you guys my honest opinion on the matter. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrew Fillion, and today I want to talk to you guys about intermittent fasting, and I want to give you my honest opinion on it. To give you guys some background, even though I just started this channel, I've been involved in the fitness community for about a decade now. I used to be a big fan of intermittent fasting. It was actually something I heavily promoted online, but nowadays I'm not so sure. When I got into intermittent fasting years ago, what would happen is that I would come up with these, eating windows. A lot of people start out with 16-8, meaning they fast 16 hours and then they eat for 8 hours. So I started there, but then I would gradually work my way up until I was doing 18-6, which would mean 18 hours fasting, 6 hours eating, then 20 and 4, all the way up to 1 meal a day. And I really enjoyed this, or at least I thought I did, but a lot of the times what ended up happening is I had this unhealthy relationship with food where I was artificially restricting myself so that my entire day was scheduled around when I could eat. If I wasn't eating, I was subconsciously thinking about food, and when I was eating, all I could think about was, I gotta get all this protein in. When you do bodybuilding, you need about 200 grams of protein every day.
Awesome, I love protein.
I know you love protein, I love protein too.
Well, it's very uncomfortable to get that from one meal. So over the years, I have stopped intermittent fasting, but I think intermittent fasting comes from a good place. For a lot of people, weight loss is really just about calories in, calories out. And if you're skipping breakfast, you're saving yourself anywhere from 600 to 900 calories. So there's your deficit right there. On the surface, it makes sense. But if the true determining factor of weight loss is calories in, calories out, then we don't need to do all this manipulation to get there. What I prefer to do is to start my day out with protein. Right here, I've got a packaged protein shake. I've got tons of them. This one's Premier, this one's Orgain. I sometimes go with Fairlife, Core Power, Muscle Milk. I'm able to get all of these at Costco, and for me that works best because I can have it, throw it in the trash, and I'm done. I don't really like cleaning shaker bottles. But the reason I do this is because having a little bit of protein in the morning actually reduces hunger. Protein really leads to satiation. Oh, sorry, my dog's here. Hey, buddy. We have a surprise visitor. Say hello, buddy. So anyways, I like to start out with the protein, and the reason is because protein is satiating. So you have a little bit of protein and you're no longer hungry. And as long as that protein doesn't have sugars in it, you're not gonna get an insulin spike either, which makes it a lot easier for you to get to lunchtime or even dinner without many calories. So if you think about it, that's just as good as intermittent fasting. You're still removing breakfast, but you're not removing the protein aspect. And that's gonna give you some protein synthesis starting first thing in the morning, continuously throughout the day, so that your body is always metabolizing new muscle fibers. So I think this is a great way that you can evolve on intermittent fasting. The two big takeaways here is one, you're not boxing yourself into a corner so that you're constantly thinking about when you can eat, and then while you're eating, asking yourself, did you eat enough? And two, you can get your body metabolizing protein all throughout the day. When you add these two things together, not only are you going to be able to lose a lot of weight, you're also going to be able to preserve a lot of muscle while cutting, and possibly even put new muscle on. Now, people in the intermittent fasting community have best of intentions, and a lot of them will say that while you're fasting, that has a muscle sparing effect. It is true that when we're fasted, the body's going to release more growth hormone, but this doesn't paint the whole picture. When it comes to putting on new muscle, you're going to need protein. So imagine that you've got construction workers on a job site. If human growth hormone, HGH, are the workers, protein is going to be the materials. You might have a bunch of workers on site, but without the materials, they're not going to be putting on new muscle. And that's where a lot of guys that intermittent fast run into some problems. They're not metabolizing protein throughout the day, so they're not getting as much muscle gains as they could. By doing my hybrid approach where you have protein in the morning and throughout the day, and then you have larger meals, it's up to you. Lunch, dinner, both, doesn't matter. As long as you're getting that protein in at around 3-hour intervals, you can do your meals however you like. And the nice thing is, because your protein is taken care of early on in the day, when it becomes dinner time, you don't have to have as much of a protein-focused meal. This makes eating dinner a lot easier. Now, anyone who's ever had a lot of chicken before knows that once you get through about 10 ounces of chicken, it starts to become very uncomfortable. Doing it this way, you now can just have the right amount of chicken and throw in all the other ingredients that you love, like potatoes and vegetables, things of that nature. But I'm always going to shy away from the unhealthy foods. I'm not a big eater of bread. I'm not a big fan of rice, because these are going to be foods that really can spike your insulin, especially if you go for a carb-heavy meal. Protein in the morning and throughout the day. Finish off with whatever you like as long as it's within reason. This is going to be a great way for you to lose weight, keep the weight off, and put on new muscle. So that's why I'm not the biggest fan of intermittent fasting, although it comes from a good place, and I do appreciate that aspect of it. I think that we can evolve the idea even further. And one final note, when it comes to actual fasting, I am a massive fan. A few times a year, I'll do a 72-hour long fast, and if I'm feeling really antsy, I might even go for 96. This is a great way to not only shed a lot of body fat in a short time span, it also resets your taste buds and your palate. This makes it a lot easier to kick sugar cravings. If you're struggling with that, you do a fast. In that time period, you're going to reset so that when you end the fast, it's a lot easier for you to stick to a healthy diet. I highly recommend fasting. But I want to hear from you guys. Do you intermittent fast? Let me know in the comments below. Do you do longer fasts? If you do, I want to hear about that as well. And with that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to leave it here. So I will see you guys in the next one. By the way, guys, I shop at Costco. I don't care which brand of protein I grab. I usually grab whichever one's on sale. Just a little pro hack or pro tip or life hack. I don't know. This thing's pretty cool, isn't it? I like it.